Hello friends, today I'm going to dive into the very important topic of how to build a sales team. How do you build a sales team? Well, by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to build a sales team that not only meets expectations, but actually exceeds it. Imagine having a team of dedicated, skilled salespeople driving your revenue and growth. Well, stay tuned to discover how to make this a reality. Have you ever wondered what separates an average sales team from an exceptional one? What strategies do successful organizations use to build exceptional sales teams? Well, today we're uncovering those strategies and giving you tools to apply to your own business by first talking about the type of environment that fosters sales. Second, we want to talk about the correct structure that is necessary to build from a foundational level. And finally, I will cover compensation needed to build the right sales team. If you're ready, let's go. So what type of environment best fosters a sales team? Think of any sales organization that you've ever been a part of, and chances are, if you enjoyed it, if it was successful, it all began with culture. You know, there was a company many years ago that we were working with, and they had a really cool mantra that I've actually implemented in our organization and even some of the teams that I coach, because I believe it encompasses everything about culture that people want to be a part of. And we call it the 3 B's: believe, belong, become. And think about it. People want to be part of an organization or somebody that believes in them, and they want to believe in that organization. So if belief is there, if they can believe, that's the very base of being part of an organization that has tremendous culture. And everybody wants to be a part of something, especially something that has a greater cause or purpose than they do, so they want to belong. And finally, if we're helping people become the best versions of themselves, and they feel like that organization is helping them in that way, whether it's professionally or personally, they're becoming a better version of themselves. They're becoming part of something that maybe has a greater cause than even what they're there for every single day. So if we can look at it as believe, belong, become, the 3 B's, that is the great base to create the type of culture that fosters a sales environment and helps you build a sales team that will really stand the test of time. You also need to have an environment that fosters good energy and a positive vibe. People want to be a part of something that's high energy, especially when it comes to sales. If you think about it, sales that perform at a high level are usually done in an environment with high, positive, good energy. Because if you're part of something that's low energy and kind of makes you feel like this and talk like this, that's not something that's going to get sales. That's not something that people are going to show up every single day and be excited to perform. They're not going to be excited to show up every single day and perform at a high level. We've done a pretty good job of this in our organization, because I'm a big believer in that, is creating a high, positive, energetic atmosphere. That we've even had people that have showed up every single work that maybe weren't very good at sales, but continue to show up every single day, every single month, because they love the environment they're a part of. And it's really hard maybe to say, hey, sales might not be the right thing for you. And there's people that definitely, you've probably seen it before, that aren't specifically right for sales. But because we created that atmosphere that has energy and excitement and is positive, they want to show up no matter what, because they liked being part of something that had that foundation. And so creating that foundation sometimes can be a really positive thing, but also something that might attract people even if they're not performing at a high level. And that is a business you need to make the decision whether they should be a part of that organization or not. And I think also an organization or an environment that builds people up, that recognizes people, is also important. Every single month in our organization, we have what we call the Peak Award. We have people within the organization nominate somebody who they feel has gone above and beyond their duties and is somebody who you would look at as the top of the peak of the mountain. They've really escalated. They've really climbed the top to perform at a very high level. So people nominate those, we vote on those, and we award a Peak Award every single month, which is really a cool thing to do, because it fosters that environment of somebody that goes above and beyond, that has really been special in their division or what they've done. So let's talk about structure as it relates to creating a sales team. Is there a perfect structure that works for everything and for everybody, for every organization? Potentially not, but I believe that structure is really important. It gives clarity, it gives energy, and it gives purpose within a sales organization. So creating a structure for a team and even a sales division is really important. Starting off, number one, you need a high-performing sales rep that also has some management skills or leadership skills that can lead a team. But one of the most important things about choosing the sales rep to lead the team, they've also got to be duplicatable. So what do I mean by that? So think about it. If you got a sales rep that is extremely unique, they do things completely off the wall, but they still see success, but they might be extremely hard to duplicate, that's probably not going to be something that fosters success or that you can build a team around. But if you have somebody that does it the right way, consistently, day in and day out, and you can duplicate what they do to other individuals, that has the making to build a solid, exceptional sales team. And that individual then become the head or the team leader or team manager over that team. And underneath that individual, he has people that he's consistently training to then do do the sales in the way that he has done it that should see the same type of success. So a lot of times in our organization, and this is different for every organization, but this is how we do it in ours. We have setters, we have closers, and we have assistant team leaders. So we have an organizational hierarchy where people can see a career path, and by doing so and performing at a high level at every individual stage, they can move up and progress and eventually be in a position where they're in a higher status and making more money. I think another important element that probably deserves more attention than I'll give it here is creating a competition within that sales environment. So when you build a sales team, there's obviously got to be competition there. I mean, most people get into sales because they're competitive individuals. So if they can look across the wall and say, man, I want to be as good as this person, or if he can do it or she can do it, I can do it, that creates the type of competition. So putting things out there that shows people's success and where they are in relation to some of the top performers is the type of thing that drives competition and also recognition and awareness. And I believe it's not just competition against other teams or other individuals, but a competition among themselves. If you can put things out there that maybe show their average over a period of time and you reward them for beating their average, that's something that every individual can get behind, because they might not be competing against that person, but if they can compete against themselves every single day or every single time period to improve, then obviously that's the type of competition that they have control over, that they can beat no matter what. Finally, let's talk about compensation. Now, this is going to be different for different organizations, but putting a compensation structure in place that awards performance is going to be important. Now, this is different for even individuals. So at the different levels from prober, closer to team leader, if you've earned the spot of a team leader, a lot of times that compensation is going to be more of a fixed higher percentage of compensation you're getting paid. Whereas maybe from that initial level when you come in, it's more of a graduated or sliding scale. In our organizations, anywhere from say 12% up to 20%. If you hit a very high level, you're going to be compensated more. And even as a closer, maybe once you hit a certain amount, it flatlines at a certain percentage amount. So having different compensations for each individual group within there is how you build the sales team, knowing that when somebody starts, they're on a sliding scale, but as they progress to these different levels of closer, assistant team leader, and team leader, their compensation is going to be structured different. We even give our team leaders an override on the team based on how the team performs at an individual level, right? So we do it on a per man average. So if you've got a 10-man team and that team does $50,000 and that's a $5,000 per man average, anytime that they're above a $4,000 per man average, they get maybe a 2% override. It varies per man average, but as you scale that, the most they can get is anywhere between 1% to 3%, also a graduated scale. So there's definitely things within the compensation that you can do to incentivize each individual role as you build a sales team. Now, these are things that we've done in our organization, but I'd love to hear your feedback. How have you built a sales team? How have you utilized competition, compensation, culture, and structure to build the type of sales team that is built to last? Please comment. Let's engage in a dialogue below. And as always, just for stopping by and watching the video, I've got a free gift for you. It's our Sales and Persuasion course. We use it to train all of our sales reps. It's a 10-module course that we normally sell for $1,000, and it's 100% free, no obligation. Just click on the link below, aaronsalestraining.com. And once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.